Hi guys, welcome to Jules Cooking. Today we're going to make a delicious honey dessert. It's going to be a honey cremeux with some poached pear and a honey tuille. So, let's begin. Start by pouring 200 grams of milk in a saucepan together with 20 grams of sugar. Now cut a vanilla pod in half and scrape out the seeds. Then add this to the milk and bring it to a boil. While that's coming to a boil, soak 2 leaves of gelatin. Now dissolve the gelatin and then add 20 grams of dark chocolate. Then turn off the heat and mix this. Then remove the vanilla pod and pipe a small layer in a honeycomb mold to just cover the bottom. Now freeze this. After that, pour 250 grams of milk in a saucepan with 50 grams of honey. Then soak 2 leaves of gelatin. Bring the milk to a boil. While that's coming to a boil, mix 30 grams of egg yolk with 10 grams of cornstarch. Now slowly add the hot milk mixture to the yolks. Then pour it back in the pan and while stirring, cook it to the desired thickness. Now dissolve the gelatin and then put it through a sieve. Then cover it with plastic foil and let it cool down out of the fridge. Now fill the remaining space of the honeycomb mold. After that, tap it to remove any air bubbles and then let it freeze as well. Then put 30 grams of butter in a pan and melt it. Meanwhile, mix 30 grams of flour with 30 grams of honey and 30 grams of egg white. Then add the melted butter. Now spread this on a tuille mold and bake it at 170 degrees Celsius for around 8 minutes. Then while it's still hot, remove it from the mold and cut it with a round cutter. I'll put a link in the description where I bought both molds. Now pour 300 grams of pear juice in a saucepan and also add 10 pieces of cardamom, 4 grams of agar powder and 50 grams of honey. Then mix this and bring it to a boil for 2 minutes. Once boiled, put it through a sieve and then let it set in your fridge. After that, transfer it into a blender and spin it till smooth. Now put it in a piping bag. Then pour 500 grams of white wine in a saucepan with 50 grams of sugar, 50 grams of ginger syrup and 10 pieces of cardamom. Bring this to a boil. Meanwhile, peel 2 pears, cut them in half and remove the core. Now poach them on a simmer for around 1 hour. Then cut them in thin slices and cut those slices with a small round cutter. Now pour 65 grams of honey in a big pan together with 65 grams of glucose and 125 grams of sugar. Heat this up till it's 144 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, put some parchment paper in a bowl. Now mix 50 grams of baking soda to the caramel for around 10 seconds. Then straight away pour it in the bowl and let this cool down for 1 to 2 hours. Now remove the parchment paper and cut it to the desired size. After that, let 2 pieces of spring roll dough dry on your worktop for 20 minutes. then cut them with a stamp. Now bake them at 170 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. Then color them with some color powder. Now put 150 grams of butter in a saucepan and caramelize this till you have a nice and golden brown burnasette. Then put it through a kitchen paper. After that, mix it with 100 grams of sugar, the zest of 1 lemon, 2 grams of salt, 100 grams of flour and 2 eggs. Mix this and then add 40 grams of pine tree nuts. Now pour it on a tray covered with parchment paper. Bake it at 170 degrees Celsius till golden and then cut it with a round cutter. Now put it on a plate. Then take the cremeux out of the mold and let it defrost on the cake. Now also add the poached pear, the pear gel, the honeycomb and some small mint leaves. Then also add the tuille and pipe a couple of small dots of the gel on the tuille and put a brown spring roll on top. And now I serve it with the poaching liquid that I've binded with a little bit of Santana. Okay guys, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed the video, so don't forget to like and share it and subscribe if you want to see more. Bon appétit!